Midas just playing very, very well, I gotta say. I'm rather impressed by Midas's play as we're moving forward. And it looks like I don't know what Last was trying to do, building a couple missile turrets there to slow down maybe Midas's expansion, or maybe catch a dropship if he was lucky, something like that. I think probably he was hoping that if he got lucky he could maybe catch a dropship that Midas was sending out, but no luck there. Midas not even building any control towers yet, so it doesn't even look like he's looking to build dropships. Last, on the other hand, looks like he is going to be producing dropships with that control tower. I'm not seeing Wraith cloaking being upgraded, so I'm going to assume that is for dropship play. But Last is just not looking real good right now, and he looks like he's going to start losing the middle of the map right now. Right, that double expansion, he's forced to bring in some of his units from the bottom, and so his bottom reinforcement is not going to be very strong right now. I think Midas just has a lot of options right now of how he can hurt Last. Last is stretched extremely thin. Terran naturally is not a very mobile race, able to defend multiple areas at once. It's not really a forte of the Terran race, and Midas really has the option right now of just sending a flood of troops either to the bottom right to take out the units on the way and try and take out that bottom right base, try and take the middle of the map. He's got a lot of options right now. I really like Midas's position. He's also got a pseudo-contain in the north with some turrets as well to stop. I think that those are turrets. Maybe those are just random units, but I think that those are a couple turrets to stop any dropships of Last. He's got one right now from trying to sneak by in from that position, and there is 2 dropships now for Last. And at what point will those dropships have enough units in them that when he drops, he'll be able to take down a group of units? Midas does have some pretty large clumpings of units, and it looks like Last is going to try and take this bottom base at the 6 o'clock position, near, basically right next to Midas's main, and he's gonna go and try and bring in some tanks as well to try and take out the tanks of Midas that are trying to stop it and trying to stop any advances there, and he's gonna be very successful. So good play there by Last if he's able to hold this, and he's gonna be able to take down some of these turrets as well, open that up to drops. This could actually be a very nice position for Last if he can bring in a couple dropships as well. But unfortunately for him, it looks like he's going to struggle in the middle of the map. He's going to lose all of these tanks in the middle at the double expansion area. Going to lose those. Looks like Midas has said enough is enough. You're not going to get this position on me, and he is starting to push. And where will he go next? Where is the next Midas push going to be? 3 dropships for Last are coming to the south, and they probably are going to drop right into the main of Midas. And no, they're not. Okay, I was thinking that they would drop right into the main of Midas, use the tanks that are already on the high ground as artillery support, basically, and try and do some damage from there, and just sort of like leapfrog tanks in. Midas is trying to counter by taking the 12 o'clock base, basically in the same kind of position as Last is doing, but he doesn't have tanks or really any units there to try and defend. He's got a single vulture and a couple of turrets, so really not a whole lot there to try and defend. And the Wraith coming in there to take hits from the 2 turrets, and they're going to be able to clean this entire base up. So this 12 o'clock position is going to fall, probably will be cancelled any moment now by Mr. Midas. Any second? Yes? No? Oh no, Midas bringing in a couple of dropships. I didn't even see those being produced to try and counter, but he's going to lose both dropships, so poor play there by Midas, bringing those dropships in and then not retreating them very quickly. So he loses both dropships, the units within, as well as being forced to cancel that command center. So not a good play by Midas, and Last looking pretty good again. In terms of the last couple of plays, TVT just going back and forth little by little. Haven't seen a decisive play yet, but either player. The map is kind of being split, but Last coming away with that victory at the 12 o'clock position. Evens out the gas a little bit if he can get his 6 o'clock gas working. That's a huge if, because the gas is on the left side, which is closer to Midas's base, so it's going to be difficult for him to hold that against tanks from Midas. But if he can get that gas somehow up and running, he'll be able to even up the gas count, which would be absolutely huge for him. We do have Midas in the top left throwing up some starports, and Last coming in here with the drop, with those support that I was talking about from the tanks on the ridge, and he's going to try and get in here, and not having much luck at all. Wow. That was kind of an odd drop. A lot of Goliaths, not a whole lot of Vultures, and not a whole lot of stuff. I don't know. That was kind of a weird looking drop to me in terms of the unit composition. I was expecting more Vultures and tanks, not so many Goliaths. The Goliaths not really serving a purpose there per se, as much as Vultures and tanks would have there. So last losing that drop, but Midas at the top left building a bunch of starports, and it looks like they'll just be for raids. I don't see a science facility with a physics lab, so I think they'll just be for raids. Midas was able to take out the 12 o'clock base, or the units at the 12 o'clock with some tanks of his own, and he's trying to take this middle, but his command center is going to be forced to lift and might get picked off by all of these Goliaths and tanks in the area. Midas looks like he's preparing some units to come in here for a counter assault, actually building all these control towers, so there is going to be a physics lab somewhere. I haven't seen it yet. Must be a physics lab. There it is at the natural expansion. There's the physics lab, so he's going to be going straight to BCs, and this is pseudo what I saw Flash do recently. I'm trying to remember who he was playing against, but Flash did this recently, maybe against Light? I want to say maybe Light, or C, one of the NBC guys, where he basically skipped dropships completely, just went from a ground army to battle cruisers, and it worked, and Flash pulled it off perfectly. Went very, very well. His opponent tried to go from dropship play into battlecruisers himself, but he was obviously lacking in the gas, and he was later on the upgrades and everything, so he wasn't able to really catch up there. Really didn't go well. And last coming here with a big drop on Midas at his natural expansion, so he's going to be able to clear this out. He's going to get his refinery back up and running at his natural expansion, so things looking much better for last than they were just 5 minutes ago, certainly. And if he can counter these battlecruisers, I don't know if he knows that they're coming. We don't know what he's scanned, what he hasn't scanned. If he's seen that physics lab and he knows that this is coming, and maybe going cloaked raids of his own, or Goliaths or something, or getting some. I haven't seen any sort of response in terms of getting starports of his own, so I'm not really sure what he's going to try and how he's going to counter this. But he's going to need to do so. We have a lot of. that refinery was just funny. There was like 6 SCVs trying to repair the refinery and 3 SCVs mining from it, and it still goes down because I think they finished repairing it, and then the tank started shooting again. He didn't restart them, so not working very well for him. And Midas looking to take the 12 o'clock expansion. He's floating a command center over there, got some SCVs following it. He's got some troops moving up into the area as well. Looks like he's seated the 6 o'clock position, not looking to try and do anything. They're just playing defensively at that point, having turrets inside of his base as well as tanks. A big dropship force for last going towards the 6 o'clock position, and he is probably going to go for a big drop in the main, it looks like, and we'll see how successful this is. This could be huge. This could be a huge drop for him. Midas doing some counter damage here at the 12 o'clock position, going to clear out some of the turrets that would be stopping himself from dropping into last base. And Midas has his first round of battlecruisers, 3 battlecruisers out right now. And Midas now knows where those dropships are with that scan. He saw those. And last is going to drop at this sort of inside 12 o'clock position, going to clear out the units of Midas. It looks like he's going to go for the 12 maybe and try and clear this whole thing out. See how well this goes for him. Looks like he's been forced to pseudo stall here. He's picking up some of his units again. Forced to stall with his tanks. But another round of drop. He doesn't even need full dropships really, but another round of drop should be able to clear those out. If he can go fast enough before Midas can reinforce, he should be able to clear this out. We'll see how fast he's able to reload those dropships. Looks like last is going to try and take one of the inside bases on the right side and try and get some of that gas and minerals. It's going to be tough. All he's getting these middle bases is very, very tough. Very, very tough to keep them. I don't think last has any idea that these battlecruisers are coming. There's 3 there. There's going to be 6 very, very shortly, and it's going to be very, very interesting how he does this. And here comes last with a big drop at the 12 o'clock position. There are a lot of tanks for Midas, and they're spread out quite a bit, so they're actually doing a rather good job of dealing with this drop that came in very, very clumped. 1 tank remaining for last, and it goes down, so Midas defends the drop, and it's not often that you see drops fail in TVT when they aren't counter dropped. Yeah, really not too often. Usually players have a good idea of exactly how many units they need, what they can hit with their dropship force, and if they need to bring in some units on the ground behind, but last perhaps not being the best, I'm just gonna go with that, not being maybe the top programmer, not knowing exactly how much he needed to take down that force. He does come in here with the second drop and does manage to clear it out, of course. Not a whole lot was left there for Midas. But Midas choosing, I think he's about to reveal his battlecruisers. He's got 4 of them, one of them has a kill, so he has revealed them. And he should have Yamato, and he is just going to absolutely just start picking at the forces of of Last, and Last is going to be absolutely in trouble right now. He doesn't have Goliaths, doesn't have Wraiths, doesn't have battle cruisers of his own, does not have a whole lot to counter this, and it looks like he was caught completely by surprise, wasn't scanning the top left, wasn't scanning the natural expansion, had no idea that this was coming, and it looks like Last is going to pay the price for not keeping tabs on his opponent. And yeah, this is basically game, I gotta think. I don't know, perhaps if he can build something in the bottom, build some starports or something in the bottom of the map, to maybe try and get some surprise massive Goliaths or battle cruisers. I don't know how he's going to be able to do this. He's so far behind in the battle cruiser count, so he can't really go battle cruisers. He's trying to use his Goliaths to try and pick at these battle cruisers, but doesn't really have the numbers yet. And here comes the Yamatos picking at the tanks. So without the tank support, the tanks of Midas will just steamroll, absolutely steamroll the Goliaths and minimal tanks of Last. And here comes the battle cruisers into the middle of the map, looking to try and clear out this base, and it looks like Last is going to drop with a ton of Goliaths, so that's a good drop by Last, able to drop there, not killing any battle cruisers though. Very, very important. He did not kill a single battle cruiser, so if there are some SCVs around, they can go and start their repairing. Looks like some of these tanks for Midas also picking out the Goliath count as they were being loaded into the dropship. So this middle base for Last is going to go down, and Last is just in huge trouble. Both players should have their mains naturals, and thirds should be very, very close to mine now. Yeah, now we're looking around finally. I was wondering when they were going to start looking around at the bases. So Last will have the two bottom bases to mine from, and Midas will have the top two as soon as he finishes the 12 o'clock. But of course, he has the huge advantage of the battle cruisers, as well as the massive superiority in tank count as well. So where is Last going to go from here? Where is he going to try and do some damage? He is moving his troops across the bottom of the map. Looks like he's maybe going to go for the production. I don't think that that's really wise for him. I think he's more going to probably play defensive here, trying to keep these bases alive at the bottom. And here comes a kind of a drop, kind of a weird looking drop, dropping a couple units here and there. That was a really weird looking drop onto the tanks, but there come the rest of the units. There they are. There's everything else. I was wondering where everything else was. And he's going to go after Midas right now, going to go straight for the natural expansion, and the battle cruisers and forces from Midas coming in from behind, going to try and pincer maybe a little bit, hold Last in here, get him with some reinforcing tanks in behind, and then get the battle cruisers and tanks coming in, or I'm sorry, in the front, and then get the battle cruisers and tanks in the front. And I think Midas will be able to clean this game up very, very shortly. I think he's just got too much. I mean, there really aren't enough Goliaths, there aren't enough tanks. I mean, I think the battle cruisers could just A-walk in, and Last is just going to GG, not even choosing to fight this last battle. It was over. It was absolutely over. So Midas is going to get the victory for We Made Fox. So We Made Fox is going to get the first win, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more star power out for STX. They got a lot of it. They've got Cal, they've got Calm, they have Modesty, who beat Cal and got into the round of 4. So they have some star power if they want to reveal it. Definitely very excited to see who they're going to send out in the second game. I will see you guys all there.
초반에 참 상대 진영 쪽에서 엎어진 고유리한 타이밍을 결과적으로 김상현 선수가 살려내지 못하면서 전상욱 선수에게 경기를 넘겨주고 맙니다. 폭스의 주장 전상욱 선봉으로 출전해서 주장으로서의 역할 충분히 하면서 먼저 첫 번째 세트 승리의 주인공이 됐습니다. 1대0으로 폭스가 앞서 있고요. 잠시 후 포트리스에서 펼쳐질 두 번째 세트로 돌아오겠습니다.